And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review. This is another double movie review. This is we're continuing with the Diary of a Wimpy Kid marathon. Today we're doing a double review of Diary of a Wimpy Kid Rodrick Rules, the live action version released in 2011, and the animated version, which I think was also released in 2021 or 2022. So about 10 to 11 years apart. Yeah, so here we go. I got a lot of thoughts on these movies too. They're based off of the second book in this series. So I got some thoughts. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? So the first one we watched was the live action one. There was a Taylor Pringle reference. I don't know who the fuck that is. But Pringles! Yeah! It obviously was a premonition for this YouTube channel. So take that to the bank, Warner Brothers, or whoever made this fucking movie. I didn't really comment on this much in the review of the first live action one, but I'll say it here. These are actually, the parents in this movie are actually like really good, like as parents. Like they obviously just do have like the best interest for the family, and it's pretty wholesome to see. Again, you don't really notice it much in the first movie, but you do really notice it here, and I like that. It was good. It was a very wholesome part of this movie. Also, Xbox. Yeah, they switched up from Wii to Xbox. Well, there is more stuff with the Wii, but now they now they bring in Xbox. See, Nintendo got all the hail and praise in the first one, so now Microsoft's got to sneak in here with their Xbox 360. Whoa! Also, you can play Twisted Wizard 2. Or this Twisted Wizard. And then they later play Twisted Wizard 2 in the next one, which we'll get to that later. But this movie may even be more dated in some of the ways that some of the like references and plots of this film. Like they have a whole segment about trying to go viral on YouTube, which I thought was really funny. And I mean, just YouTube at that time looks a lot different than YouTube does now, so that was kind of surreal seeing that. They also play TikTok by Kesha for that, which is funny because how it's done is they make a TikTok before TikTok was a thing, but they're doing a lip sync video to TikTok by Kesha, which has the P. Diddy line in it, so yeah. So that's fun. There's a few other stuff about that, and I don't know. I mean, a lot of the same stuff otherwise that I would say about the first movie. Rodrick's great again, maybe even better than the first one. The dad is great again, even though he's not in it as much in this one. And also, Greg is 100% somehow even more of a sociopathic freak than he is in the first one. It's crazy. Like, it's honestly baffling that that Zachary Gordon and the writers were able to somehow able to build upon, like, beat themselves at this game of making Greg Heffley like the most sociopathic character in this entire movie ruling universe. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Again, though, with the animated version of Rodrick Rules, it's a lot like the first movie. It's pretty much a direct read of the book. They leave out a few things. They skip over. They don't really leave out stuff in this one. They more so just skip over some parts of it instead of elaborating on it much like the live action one does. And one that I thought was a part that I was pretty sad that they left out was when Rodrick and Greg are actually getting along, the party scene, then just hanging out and all that jazz. Because that part of the movie is actually really wholesome. And it was pretty awesome, honestly. Like, there were some really wholesome parts of this movie, and that was probably that part of the movie is probably the best part of this entire movie. Or the live action movie. And with them leaving it out, mostly, they didn't leave it all out of the animated version, but they did leave a great chunk of it out. And it does suck that they left it out. It does suck. But the cleanup scene that takes place after the party in the animated version, oh my god, it's a lot crazier than the live action version. Live action version is just like a fast montage of just regular cleaning, but the animated version is like other people there. They like bring out some really weird references and just a lot of other random objects that they throw into the mix. It's a little bizarre. I will say I was pretty glad that this movie finally grew a pair and started, doing some things outside the lines. But it was a weird start to it. Weird way to do it. You also get Rickrolled in the animated one, which I thought was kind of crazy, but it was cool, I guess. It just shows that they were trying to manipulate the Diary of a Wimpy Kid franchise to fit a more modern audience, and Rickroll's cool, it's a great song, but it doesn't really work. Didn't really work in the first movie, and it doesn't really work here. So I will say though, there was one singular really funny scene in the animated one, and it's when they're in the retirement home and Greg's like trying to chase down Rodrick. Like the chase scene's going on, and there's an old lady in the elevator, and the door opens, and she's like really scooting along at her own little pace, but she doesn't make it in time when the door closes on her. I got a good laugh out of me. I will say that was one of the funniest parts of this entire franchise was that scene right there. So I will give them credit for that. That was a really funny joke. Oh, and then how could I forget Door. D-O-R-E. Door. That was pretty funny. So that's really all I gotta say on either movies. The animated version I would also give a 4, just like I gave the first animated one. But the live action one, I'll upgrade it to a 5. 5.5. We'll give it a 5.5. I think it was definitely better than the first one. Still not a great movie by any means, but there were a lot more better moments, and it was a lot more watchable. I will give it that. So, that in mind, that's going to do it for this another double review. The rest of the marathon will be just regular single movie reviews from here on out. Got 3 more left to do. And then for a little bit, maybe. I don't know, really. I don't know if we'll see. But anyway, that's going to do it for this review. If you've seen either of these movies, I'd love to know your thoughts about them in the comment section down below. What do you think? How faithful are they to the book? Do you still like the book? Who knows? I'd like to know some thoughts. That's going to do it for this review, so stay tuned for other much more amazing content, including more movie reviews and other awesome stuff. Till next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.